You believe you are a good person. You believe there is a line, a firm, concrete wall between you and the monster. You tell yourself that evil is a choice made by broken, malevolent people who are nothing like you. But what if you're wrong? What if that wall you believe in is not made of stone, but of circumstance? What if the line between good and evil is a line drawn in the sand, waiting for the right tide to wash it away? In the summer of 1971, in the basement of a prestigious university, that wall was torn down. An experiment was designed to study the psychology of prison life. The participants were not criminals or sadists. They were ordinary, healthy, intelligent college students, screened for stability. They were good people. They were randomly assigned roles, prisoner or guard. The study was supposed to last for 2 weeks. It did not last one. At first, it was a game. Awkward students playing dress-up in ill-fitting uniforms. But within 36 hours, the game was over. The role-playing stopped. Something real and something dark had begun to emerge. The guards, given power, became inventive in their cruelty. They forced prisoners to do push-ups as punishment, then stepped on their backs. They stripped them, put bags over their heads, and denied them the right to use a toilet. They asserted their dominance not because they were ordered to, but because the system gave them permission. The prisoners, stripped of their identity, became numbers. They grew passive, broken, and submissive. One had a psychotic breakdown. Another began a hunger strike. The young men who walked into that basement disappeared. All that remained were guards and prisoners. The experiment, planned for 14 days, was terminated after just 6. The psychologist in charge, Philip Zimbardo, saw that the line in the sand had been erased. This transformation, this terrifyingly rapid descent of an ordinary person into an agent of cruelty, has a name. It is the Lucifer Effect. It argues that evil is not necessarily the result of a few bad apples. Instead, it suggests that the barrel itself, the situation, the system, the environment, is what rots the fruit. It is the idea that good people can be seduced, recruited, and initiated into evil by powerful situational forces. How does the bad barrel work? It operates through a few simple, terrifying mechanics. First, it demands dehumanization. The prisoners were no longer John or David. They were numbers. An object is easier to abuse than a person. Next, it provides anonymity. The guards wore uniforms and reflective sunglasses, hiding their faces, hiding their individuality. A mask allows the monster to come out and play. Finally, it grants absolute power. When one group is given total control over another without oversight, the temptation to abuse that power becomes nearly irresistible. The system was the true evil, a machine designed to grind down empathy and reward cruelty. The students weren't the experiment. They were simply the first victims of the machine. Decades later, the ghosts of that Stanford basement would reappear, not in a prison, but across the hills and villages of an entire nation. They were in the Rwandan genocide, where neighbors turned on neighbors, and ordinary Hutu civilians, farmers, teachers, and friends became killers overnight. Fueled by relentless propaganda that dehumanized their Tutsi neighbors as cockroaches and granted the absolute power of the machete by a collapsing state, the barrel turned toxic. The situation was different, but the mechanics were the same. Anonymity within the mob. Dehumanization, absolute power. The Lucifer Effect proves that history does not repeat itself. Human psychology does. This isn't just about prisons. It's about corporate hierarchies, online mobs, political tribes, and any system that grants one group power over another. The bad barrel is all around us. What, then, is a hero? If evil is situational, then heroism cannot simply be a character trait. A hero is not someone who is innately good. A hero is the one who understands the power of the situation and rebels against it. The one who refuses to conform, who refuses to dehumanize, who says no when the entire system is screaming yes. The line between good and evil is permeable. Perhaps the only thing that truly separates the hero from the villain is self-awareness. The knowledge of just how easily you could become the monster. So ask yourself, not with arrogance, but with honest, terrifying humility. In that basement, in that uniform, behind those mirrored glasses, which one would you have been?